There is a tree that survived the impossible. August 6th, 1945. Hiroshima, Japan. The atomic bomb detonates 600 meters above the city. Everything within 2 kilometers vaporizes. Buildings collapse. Rivers boil. The heat reaches temperatures 40 times hotter than the surface of the sun. When the dust settles, nothing moves, nothing breathes, nothing lives, except 6 trees. 6 ginkgo trees stand within sight of ground zero. Their trunks are charred black, their branches stripped bare, their leaves burned to ash. Scientists said they were dead. Radiation levels should have killed every cell. But in the spring of 1946, something green pushed through the scorched bark.
It's worth pausing here for a moment. After one of the most destructive events in human history, when almost all life near the blast was destroyed, a few trees managed to survive and grow again. Scientists still study how ginkgo trees tolerate extreme stress. Their survival after Hiroshima became one of the most powerful real-world examples of biological resilience.
New leaves, new life. The Japanese gave them a name, Hibakujumoku, survivor trees. And they asked a question the world still has not answered. What does this tree know about survival that threatens billion-dollar industries? This is the story of the memory tree they planted in every park, but never told you what it does. Welcome to Nature's Lost Vault. The ginkgo didn't just survive Hiroshima, it survived everything. 200 million years old. Fossils identical to living trees have been found on every continent except Antarctica. It outlived the dinosaurs. It survived 5 mass extinctions. It survived ice ages that buried continents. It survived asteroids that turned day into decades of night. When every other species in its family died, ginkgo adapted. When forests burned, ginkgo's roots went deeper. 270 million years of refusing to die. The Chinese knew what they had. The earliest medical text, the Shen Nong Ben Chao Jing, recorded it 2,000 years ago. Not as decoration, as medicine. The seeds, the leaves, the roots. All 3 parts healing different systems. The Ming Dynasty physician Liu Wentai formalized the leaf in the Imperial Materia Medica in 1509 for lung disease, for heart conditions, for memory that faded with age. Emperors ate the seeds, temples planted the trees. By the 1600s, when European explorers first encountered ginkgo in Japanese temple gardens, they found specimens already 1,000 years old. Giants that had fed generations. But here is where the story fractures. Because the tree that Chinese medicine used for millennia and the tree planted in every American city are not the same. Ginkgo trees are either male or female. Males produce pollen. Females produce seeds enclosed in fleshy outer shells. Those shells smell, they contain butyric acid, the compound found in rancid butter, in vomit, and in decomposition. When female ginkgo seeds drop in autumn, sidewalks become unbearable. People complained. Cities listened. By the 1980s, urban foresters made a decision. They planted only males. They favored cultivars with names like Autumn Gold, Lakeview, and Princeton Century.
This decision by city planners seems practical on the surface. Female ginkgo trees produce seeds with a strong smell that many people find unpleasant. To avoid complaints, cities planted mostly male trees. But that choice had an unintended effect. It reduced access to the seeds that traditional medicine had used for centuries.
These trees were guaranteed sterile, guaranteed clean, and guaranteed to have no smell. Seoul in South Korea deployed 440 workers every autumn just to hand pick berries before they fell. The cost was $13,000 annually. Other cities took the simpler route. They banned females entirely. Iowa City chopped them down. Eastern Pennsylvania banned new plantings. The solution was total. No female trees, no problem. But they eliminated something else. The medicine. In traditional Chinese medicine, the seeds were not garbage. They were the primary medicine, used for 2,000 years before anyone turned to the leaves. The seeds contain compounds the leaves do not have. Ginkgotoxin, ginkgolic acids. These are compounds modern research barely studied because industry eliminated the source material before science could catch up. Urban planning systematically erased half the tree's medicinal chemistry in the name of aesthetics. They bred the cure out to avoid the smell. Most people alive today have never seen a female ginkgo tree. They never knew they existed, and they never learned what was lost. Then came the scientists. In 1964, Dr. Wilmar Schwabe Pharmaceuticals in Germany perfected something they called EGB 761, a standardized ginkgo leaf extract. 24% flavonoids, 6% terpene lactones, less than 5 parts per million ginkgolic acids. Precise, repeatable, patentable. They called it progress. Traditional Chinese medicine used whole leaves. They boiled them in water. They dried them into powder. These were simple preparations that preserved hundreds of compounds working together. Synergy. Pharmacologists called that unstandardized. They isolated the compounds they understood, and they discarded the compounds they did not. They created extraction processes that cost $10 million to replicate. Only corporations could afford the trials, and only corporations could prove efficacy under modern rules. Traditional preparation became unscientific. Herbalists became anecdotal. The wisdom that sustained civilizations for 2,000 years needed corporate validation to be taken seriously. And once Schwabe had the patent, the formula, the trials,
What's happening here reflects a broader shift in medicine. Traditional remedies often use whole plants with many compounds working together. Modern pharmaceutical research usually isolates specific molecules and standardizes them so they can be tested and regulated. Both approaches aim to improve health, but they follow very different methods.
They owned the conversation. EGB 761 generated $500 million in annual sales by the 1990s. Tanakan in France, Tebonin in Germany, Rokan in Japan. All the same standardized extract, all expensive, all controlled. The tree that grew freely in every climate now required pharmaceutical processing to be considered legitimate medicine. But something unexpected happened. Scientists kept testing EGB 761, and the results were stunning. In 2006, Italian researchers published a direct comparison. Ginkgo biloba extract versus donepezil, the blockbuster Alzheimer's drug sold as Aricept. The study lasted 24 weeks and included patients with mild to moderate dementia in a double-blind design. The conclusion was clear. There was no evidence of relevant differences in efficacy between EGB 761 and donepezil in the treatment of mild to moderate Alzheimer's.
Results like this are why ginkgo extract became widely studied. Some clinical trials suggested it may help with symptoms related to memory and cognition. However, scientific studies on ginkgo have produced mixed results overall, and researchers continue to evaluate how effective it truly is.
Moderate Alzheimer's dementia. They performed the same, but ginkgo had fewer side effects. In 2009, another trial enrolled 96 patients with Alzheimer's disease and neuropsychiatric symptoms. Participants received ginkgo, donepezil, or both combined for 22 weeks. The result showed similar effectiveness across all three groups on cognitive tests, behavior scores, and daily living activities. with no significant difference. In 2018, German researchers followed 189 patients older than 80 years, all with a dementia diagnosis, for 12 months of treatment. Ginkgo versus donepezil. Cognitive decline was measured the same, but adverse events were higher in the donepezil group. Ginkgo was safer. Multiple trials, independent labs, consistent results. Ginkgo matched the pharmaceutical that doctors prescribed, the drug that insurance companies paid for. Aricept, at $500 to $660 per month. Brand name, $6,000 to $7,900 per year. Generic donepezil dropped the price to $170 to $196 per month without insurance. Still $2,000 per year. With coupons, $70 per month. Ginkgo biloba extract, $10 to $30 per month retail. Or free, if you know which tree. But here is the trap. The FDA classified Ginkgo as a dietary supplement, not a drug. Doctors cannot prescribe it. Insurance will not cover it. It does not matter that European studies showed efficacy. It does not matter that the European Medicines Agency licensed Ginkgo extract as medicine for mild dementia in 2014. In the United States, it is a supplement. And supplements do not get prescribed. They do not get covered. They sit on pharmacy shelves next to multivitamins while patients pay $500 per month for the pharmaceutical version of the same cognitive support. The irony is surgical. Ginkgo grows in every city park, on every suburban street, outside hospitals, outside nursing homes, outside the pharmacies selling Aricept. The medicine is planted everywhere, but the system made sure you would never know. Then there is the research nobody talks about. In 1999, French scientists tested Ginkgo on rats exposed to 4.5 gray of radiation, enough to cause severe chromosomal damage. They gave some rats EGB before and after exposure. The results were published in Mutation Research. Ginkgo reduced radiation-induced chromosome damage by 83% at the higher dose. Clastogenic factors, the plasma compounds that cause genetic breaks long after radiation exposure, dropped from severe to nearly undetectable. They did not stop there. They tested it on Chernobyl recovery workers, the men who went into the reactor zone in 1986. Men whose blood still carried clastogenic activity years later. The dose was 40 milligrams of Ginkgo extract, taken 3 times daily for 2 months. The published result was a significant drop in chromosomal damage. The extract protected their cells from ongoing radiation effects. In 2006, Turkish researchers irradiated rats with 800 centigrays. Whole body exposure. Those were lethal levels. Half the rats received Ginkgo extract before and after, the others got saline. The Ginkgo group showed dramatically reduced oxidative damage in lungs, liver, kidneys, and intestines. Glutathione levels stayed high, and free radical damage stayed low. The conclusion was that Ginkgo biloba extract may have potential benefit in enhancing the success of radiotherapy. In 2009, Korean scientists exposed human lymphocytes to radiation. In untreated cells, 30% underwent programmed cell death. In Ginkgo-treated cells, 5%. The extract neutralized free radicals and oxidizing agents generated by the radiation. Apoptosis, the death signal, was
Research into radiation protection from plant compounds is still developing. Many of these studies were conducted in laboratory or animal models. While the findings are interesting, scientists typically require larger human studies before drawing strong medical conclusions.
Was never triggered. This research exists. It was published in peer-reviewed journals. Radiation protection from a tree that grows on sidewalks. And yet, How many people facing radiation therapy know about it? How many nuclear workers carry Ginkgo extract? How many preppers stockpiling iodine tablets know that Ginkgo research dates back to Chernobyl? The answer is almost none, because cheap, accessible radiation protection does not serve the industries that profit from expensive solutions. During the Cold War, when nuclear fears ran high and radiation drugs could command premium prices, the last thing those industries wanted was a common tree providing the same protection for pennies. So the research stayed in journals, the tree stayed ornamental, and the knowledge stayed buried. A tree with 200 million years of survival, 2,000 years of medical use, and modern clinical validation became invisible. Planted everywhere, known by no one. Today, an estimated 6 million Americans live with Alzheimer's disease. By 2050, that number will hit 14 million. The pharmaceutical solution costs $6,000 to $8,000 per year for brand-name drugs and $2,000 per year for generics. Those drugs slow the decline. They do not stop it. They do not reverse it. They buy time. Meanwhile, ginkgo trees line the streets. You walk past them every day. Fan-shaped leaves, bright yellow in autumn. Deeply ridged bark. They grow in front of libraries, schools, grocery stores, hospitals. Some are 50 years old. Some are 100. They drop their leaves in November, a golden carpet that lasts 2 weeks before the city sweeps them away. Those leaves contain the same compounds tested in clinical trials, the same flavonoids, the same terpene lactones, the same ginkgolides and bilobalides that European researchers proved effective for mild to moderate dementia, the same compounds that matched donepezil in head-to-head trials. Not the seeds. Those are mostly gone, eliminated by urban planning. But the leaves remain.
Today, ginkgo trees are planted in cities all over the world because they are extremely resilient and resistant to pollution. At the same time, researchers continue studying the compounds in their leaves to better understand their potential health effects. The story of the ginkgo tree shows how ancient plants and modern science can sometimes intersect in unexpected ways.
Free, abundant, ignored. The knowledge is not lost. It is just hidden. Behind FDA classifications, behind pharmaceutical patents, behind urban planning decisions made 40 years ago. The tree that survived Hiroshima, that outlasted dinosaurs, that protected Chernobyl workers, is still here, still growing, still offering. It just waits for hands willing to remember. If this vault opened something for you, subscribe to Nature's Lost Vault and hit the bell. Every like, every share, preserves what they tried to erase. The next vault opens soon.